Well, hi, I'm Simon Frampton, and I just want to share my passion in cinema with you. You see, cinema has been my life. Firstly as a filmmaker, then running an independent cinema, and now working as a film lecturer. And for many years, I've been giving these lectures all around the country, and people have been saying to me, you really ought to be doing this online, you ought to be bringing in a wider audience. So hence this little talk now. Now, I believe the way I do these lectures is quite unique because I'm giving them from the perspective of a filmmaker. So they're not dry and academic. They're humorous and anecdotal and always practical. And the sort of subjects I cover would include looking at the biographies of actors and directors. I also do a little bit of film history. I look at the origins of things like French poetic realism, German expressionism, Italian neorealism, and all the other isms. I don't want to get too bogged down and too dry with this, but it is very interesting to see how cinema moved forward and how one movement in one country would inform another. But as well as that, I like to see what informed filmmakers. So I like to come at it from a thematic perspective. So I might say to myself, how have ethnic minorities been treated in films? Or how has psychology and how has art influenced filmmakers? All of these subjects are things I've given lectures about, and I hope to bring them to you online. But I also look at national cinemas throughout the world and how their culture has uniquely influenced their filmmaking. But I always bring a practical knowledge of filmmaking to bear. And I'm able to explain how the different trades involved in making the films we love are able to bring their images to screen. The French call this collaborative effort of visuals and sound, which bring a unique feel to every film. They call that mise en scène. And that's a very important concept for us to grasp. We'll be talking about that a lot during these lectures. So I discuss how the different skills of cinematographers, sound recorders, art directors all come together to aid the director and actor in what they're trying to achieve. I have a website, filmclublectures.co.uk, where you can find out about future lectures coming up online and how to purchase them. I think you'll find my lectures informative and amusing. And I think seeing all the many film clips will just pique your interest and you'll want to go on and see many more films. So I hope this is going to open up a whole new world for you, perhaps films you would never have considered watching before. So I really hope to take you on that journey. Okay, I'll just give you a very short autobiography. And then I want to show some examples by showing little clips of some lectures I've already given. So I started out by going to the London International Film School in Covent Garden in London, and it was a wonderful school and I'd highly recommend it to anyone. It's still there now in Covent Garden. It's called the London Film School now rather than the International. That got dropped. A short drama of mine, shot on 35mm, won an award at a London Film Festival, and that led to commissions from the BBC and the Arts Council, amongst many others. For over 12 years, I ran an independent cinema, and then in 2011 I started lecturing on every aspect of cinema, and I've covered over 120 different subjects and travelled far and wide in the country giving these lectures. And they form the basis of the lectures I want to give to you now online. I want to find a wider audience, so I really hope you come and join me. I'm now going to give you a couple of examples of older lectures I've given, ones which I'll be bringing online. Hope you like them. Here are two extracts from earlier lectures. Please note, for copyright reasons, I cannot show film clips with soundtracks in this advert. But rest assured, all purchased lectures contain good visual and audio quality film clips. Citizen Kane, Orson Welles' masterpiece from 1941. And no film in 1941 had ever begun like this before. With no sound, no star names, no credits. From the very beginning, we get this feeling of literary overtones. The camera panning up from the no trespassing sign. This chainmail gate or fence. Is this a great estate or is it a prison? In fact, it's a bit of both. Xanadu, where the extraordinary character Kane lives. And now we see a series of dissolves. And I want you to note in the top right hand corner that light on in the principal house. And notice that the light stays in the same position in each frame through the dissolves. So from the very beginning, this film displays a bravura visual intelligence. Even in this reflected shot, we see the light in the water. We're gradually getting closer, and we're learning a few secrets about this extraordinary place. And closer still. Now we're right outside the window as the light goes off. This signifies death, dawn rising. And watch this effect. This dissolve into a snow, which in turn dissolves into a close-up and then a quick track back. And now the most famous close-up in film history, and the magic word rosebud, as the snow globe is dropped to the floor. And the nurse comes in, and we see her through the distorted, shattered snow globe. And how elegant this death scene is. It's very simple, in silhouette, as the nurse places the sheet over Kane's dead body. But what's coming up next? Well, I feel embarrassed to almost show you the clip's quite fun, to be fair. It's Penelope Cruz, but the film is terrible. It's Nine, the musical. What can one say about it? Federico Fellini made one of the most wonderful films ever in 1963, called 8½. 8½ because that was the amount of films he'd made up to then. 8 full features and a short, or part of a feature actually. And they went to him many, many years later, the American producers, because they thought it'd be such a good idea to make this into a Broadway musical. And they spoke to Federico Fellini, and they asked his permission. And he took the money, but he said, under the following conditions. You don't use my name, and you don't use the name of my film 8½, hence 9. Now, you see, the problem when you make a musical is, it's usually rather a good idea to have good songs. And the songs in this film stink. And what is so incredibly ridiculous is, when you think about 8½, you can't help watching that film without falling in love with the score by the most wonderful composer, Nina Rota. So what on earth is going on here? We have terrible songs. We have some appalling dancing. I mean, it doesn't get worse than this. Dame Judi Dench, that old housefrau, is dragged across the stage in a dance number. Ugh. What can I say? Absolutely appalling. Anyway, let me show you this clip of the very sexy Penelope Cruz. That's the one thing perhaps which lifts it, but it's very short and it's a very long film.